The following is a special Wayne Hills Television sports presentation.
Hello and welcome to the first ever ski production for Wayne Hills TV. We're here at Mountain Creek Ski Resort in scenic Vernon, New Jersey for the NJISRA Conference B 3rd Giant Slalom race. I'm William Logian, bringing you coverage of this race along with the rest of the Wayne Hills TV crew. The Patriot boys team, ranked 7 in the state, will be racing number 2 Sparta, 3rd ranked Del Barton, Northern Valley Demarest, Livingston, Bergen Catholic, and Morristown Beard. The Patriots boys team is 24-9 so far in this season. It's likely that after this race, the boys will be advancing to the first round of the state tournament. The Patriots girls ski team is ranked 17 in the state with a record of 6-22. They will be racing against Morristown Beard, Northern Valley Demarest, Livingston, and Sparta. Tonight is senior night for the Patriot, and the slopes are buzzing with excitement, and there's love for skiing in the air this Valentine's Day afternoon. So with that, let's get started with the races.
Racer just left, just past me.
We had a few minor technical difficulties. Bryn Cashin just finished her run for Sparta with a time of 54.91 seconds. Going down the course right now is Asha Patel for Morristown Beard. Asha Patel coming close to the finish. She's a little bit wide going through each gate. She finishes with a time of 1 minute, 5.47 seconds. Currently on the course is Jocelyn Beach for Sparta. Jocelyn Beach coming in. Nearly going straight through the gates. She finishes it with a time of 1 minute and 3.2 seconds. Currently on the course is Annie Soreko for Sparta. And she should be the last JV girl racing today. Exclaiming some words of being tired, Annie Soreko finishes with a time of 1 minute and 5.29 seconds. Now currently on the course for Sparta, the first JV boy, Jeffrey Liebrecht. Liebrecht coming towards the finish. With a time of 59.67 seconds. Coming down the slope for Del Barton, Spencer Van Voorhees getting tucked really low for the finish. Finishing with a time of 52.01 seconds. Right now on the course, the first Wayne Hills skier today, Dheer Patel. He's been on the team for a while, but he's racing on JV for this meet because we have a lot of fast guys on varsity as well. Dheer Patel coming towards the finish, receiving some cheers from his teammates. Turning well and also tucking low for his finish. Dheer finishes with a time of 1 minute and 3.59 seconds. Now the second run for the JV boys for Sparta is Hudson Cook coming down the slope. Cook is followed by Chase Dolphin for Bergen Catholic. Cook coming in. Much lower than some of the other skiers we've seen today. Finishing with a strong finish where he uses his poles to speed up a little bit. He finishes with a time of 1 minute and 5.89 seconds. Now coming in for his finish is Dolphin. A little bit more upright than Cook. Very smoothly going into his turns. Chase Dolphin finishing with a time of 1 minute and 7.16 seconds. Now for the second boys JV run for Del Barton. Excuse me, got a little bit confused there. Yes, for Del Barton, that was Neil Van Kirk, who just finished with a time of 53.45 seconds. Now the second Wayne Hills skier of the day, Ryan Rodriguez, on the course, coming down for his finish. You can see how low he is, tucking, taking those turns very efficiently. With a stylish slide to finish. I'm not sure if we caught that on camera. Ryan finishes with a time of 52.56. I believe the fastest boys JV time so far, but I may be mistaken. Up next is Benjamin Blumenfeld for Sparta, the 10th JV boys skier today. Blumenfeld coming down for his finish in a more upright stance. It's very interesting to see how much these skiers differ from one another. I'm sure part of it is that some of them are less experienced than what we'll see with varsity, as these are usually younger kids. Benjamin Blumenfeld finishing with a time of 1 minute and 2.75 seconds. Now on the course is Sean Moran for Bergen Catholic. Sean coming into the final stretch of the race. Going fairly wide on that first gate over there, but he is tightening up towards the end. Moran finishes with a time of 1 minute and 16.11 seconds. Now coming down is Axel Brandes for Del Barton with a very quick technique and a low tuck for his finish with a time of 52.52 seconds. Nice round number. We have Elliot Krasonsky coming down for Wayne Hills. Again, we have some technical difficulties. Ethan Yang for Del Barton. Coming down next is Jason Tusha for Wayne Hills. Ethan Yang finishing with a time of 56.29 seconds. Apologies, again, continuing to have some technical issues. That was Nolan Bruno for Del Barton with a time of 55.78 seconds. Earlier we had Jason Tusha finish for Wayne Hills with a time of 1 minute and 10.28 seconds. Now on the course for Wayne Hills once more is Lucas Hempton. Followed by Matthew Carroll from Del Barton. Carroll will be the second to last racer, with Hempton coming in for his finish. A nice tuck at the end. And a time of 1 minute and 11.38 seconds. Matthew Carroll will be followed by Wayne Hills' Tyler Alaka.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, that can certainly be it.
Just now, Matthew Carroll finishing for Del Barton with a time of 58.13 seconds. Alaka coming down the hill as the final skier in the JV boys race. Forgive me, was mistaken. We have two more skiers, both from Del Barton. Alaka finishing with a time of 1.09, excuse me, 1 minute and 9.89 seconds. And now the actual final two skiers.
4:45 is still out there. It should be a little tricky.
Yeah, we were still thinking at 4:30. We were way to the ground and stuff, and we were really having problems.
Once more with some technical difficulties, Ayden Stream finishing with a time of 1.05, excuse me, 1 minute and 5.92 seconds. The confusion I had earlier was these two skiers are part of the X team, which is in a sense sort of not considered in the competition. Noah Daly coming down for Del Barton for the X team, finishing with a time of
On the mountain, that's the best gig.
1 minute and 12.95 seconds. Alex Hammond coming down for her second run for now the JV girls. Representing Mo Beard, finishing with a time of 57.46 seconds. As I was saying earlier, each school has a team of 6 skiers, and the 4 fastest times are scored in the overall scorings. Bryn Cashin coming down for her second run. Taking really tight lines around the gates. And a nice tuck to finish. She skis for Sparta and finished with a time of 54.12 seconds for her second run.
When you go to other places, you're like, oh, that's nice. Yeah. Why don't we have that? Exactly. And you do have that.
On the course now is Asha Patel for Mo Beard.
Yeah, we got snow. Yeah, there you go. And we're getting more.
Coming down the slope. Nice steady lines around the gates. She gets a time of 1 minute and 3.4 seconds, which is an improvement on her last run. Coming down now for Sparta, Jocelyn Beach. Nice steady lines around the gates. Finishing with a time of 1 minute and 5.52 seconds. 2.3 seconds slower than her last run. Coming down now for Sparta, Annie Soreko, the final JV girls skier, taking her final run. And a nice confident push to finish off that run for her. She finishes with a time of 1 minute and 3.69 seconds, which was also faster than her last time. Currently for Sparta coming down the course is Jeffrey Liebrecht, the first skier for the boys JV race. Liebrecht finishes with a time of 1 minute and 1.18 seconds. Currently on the course, Pablo Gomez for Bergen Catholic. I believe this is his first run today. For some reason, he was unable to take his run earlier. Taking a fairly upright posture, but finishing with a nice tuck. Gomez finishes with a time of 1 minute and 2.52 seconds. Van Voorhees for Del Barton coming down the slope currently. Earlier he finished with one of the faster runs for the boys, his first run being 52.01 seconds. You can really see how much he leans in his carves around the gates. He nearly touches the ground in his finish. And he finishes with a run of 50.79 seconds. Little over 1 second faster than his previous run. Currently for Wayne Hills, coming down the slope is Dheer Patel. We'll see him going over that ridge soon. Dheer taking, I believe, more confident lines than his first run. I think we will see a faster time for him. My prediction was correct. He finishes with a time of 1 minute and 2 seconds flat. Nearly 2 seconds faster than his previous run. Up next for Sparta is Hudson Cook. Few strong, confident pushes to take him to that finish. He finishes with a time of 1 minute and 5.47 seconds. Fairly similar to his previous run. On the slope now is Chase Dalton for Bergen Catholic. See Dolphin finishing his run. Nice nod from him. Waiting on the official time. And he also finishes faster than his first run with a time of 1 minute and 5.18 seconds. Next up is Neil Van Kirk for Del Barton. One of the faster skiers on JV today. Van Kirk finishing with a blazing time of 51.47 seconds. Another 2-second improvement. He will be followed by Ryan Rodriguez for Wayne Hills. Ryan leaning really far on these carves. This is looking like a really fast run to me. That may be sub 50. I don't want to call it just yet, waiting on the initial time. Oh, unfortunately, it's just a little bit over, finishing with a time of 50.46 seconds. Real solid improvement from the last time. I think one of the faster runs we saw from the boys today. Up next for Sparta, Benjamin Blumenfield. You can see him going down the slope. I am noticing much more confident carves from all the boys on their second run. Probably after they've, gotten their adrenaline up and felt the course a little bit. Blumenfield finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 1.36 seconds. He's followed by Sean Moran for Bergen Catholic. Moran coming down the slope. Coming out of those gates fairly wide. Finishing with a time of 1 minute and 13.93 seconds. An improvement on his previous time. Coming down the slope right now is Axel Brandnes for Del Barton. Really tight lines through those gates and a nice tuck to finish. We heard him exclaim that was definitely tough for him. You'd be surprised just how physically demanding skiing is. And the first sub 50 today, with Brandnes finishing with a time of 49.22 seconds. That I believe puts him at the fastest overall for JV. And now coming down for Wayne Hills, Elliot Krasonsky. Really going out wide on these carves. And a nice tuck to finish. Finishing with a time of 1 minute and 1.14 seconds. Fairly consistent with his previous run. Coming down next for Del Barton is Ethan Yang. A bit more upright, but his lines are looking more confident this run around, which is the trend we've been seeing with the JV boys. And a nice tuck with a tap on the ground to solidify that finish. And I would add a very stylish backward slide. He finished with a time of 54.22 seconds, a very solid run. Coming up next, Jason Tusha for Wayne Hills. We should be seeing him come up the ridge soon. Tusha coming in for his finish. Hearing those cowbells from his teammates. Patriots definitely have the most spirit going into this race. Tusha finishing with a time of 1 minute and 7.57 seconds. Up next will be Nolan Bruno for Del Barton. Coming down now. Really leaning far on all of these carves. And a nice tuck to finish. With a time of 53.65. Another very solid run from Nolan Bruno. Wayne Hills' final skier in JV boys, Lucas Hempton, coming up. Coming down for his finish. Hempton finishing with a time of 1 minute and 8.05 seconds.
All right, we're clear.
You want to come up?
Course is clear. Is there any JV left?
I got one. I got the last JV on course and 2 X-Men in the third.
All right.
Matthew Carroll for Del Barton coming in for his finish. Or excuse me, this is Tyler Alaka. I believe Matthew Carroll may have fallen.
Last X-Men on course.
And now the X-Men.
I'm not X-Men. I'm 4.
I know, not you.
Oh.
The X-Men coming down. I will say, it's a very cool name. And now we have a special announcer guest coming on. Jason Tusha. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Talk to me about your runs. Let me pull up your times real quick. How were you feeling on that second run? I think you had a really good improvement.
Yeah, no, so I shaved off 3 seconds. I got a 107. Which,
Yo.
I mean, it's shaved.
Yo,
easy,
Del
so.
Barton, don't go
For my
through
first
the
year,
finish.
that's pretty good.
What?
Do not go through the finish.
Yeah, he told me up there.
Okay.
You're a freshman, correct?
Yes.
Have you been skiing before? Or is this the first time you're kind of trying out skiing?
I've been skiing a couple years before, but I wasn't really that good.
And we just saw Ayden stream coming down with a final time of 1 minute and 45.23 seconds for Del Barton. So talk to me. What kind of got you that time save? Were you feeling more confident? Was it just like you felt the course out more?
I mean, yeah, that. I had a faster start, and I leaned in more, you know.
Talk to me about talk to me about how you're feeling when you're going down the slope. Your legs must be on fire.
No, not really. You know, it depends on the snow. If it's like heavy sand, that's when your thighs just really burn off. But this is really good course, really good conditions, at least for New Jersey. But yeah, it's a really good course out there today.
Coming down the course now for Del Barton, the final X-Man, Noah Daly. I think that's Noah.
No, they're slipping the course.
Oh.
Varsity's about to start.
Yeah, forgive me. Just make sure when you're holding the mic, like you kind of point
yes.
it to the face. So now we're moving on to Varsity.
No, I wasn't
No,
on the
this
start
year
list,
we have a
but
really good varsity
Brian
team.
Mossy,
Really lucky to have him.
is our timer tonight because Wendy's not available and neither is Lauren. So yeah, you know how
Sorry,
it is.
what's your name?
William.
William, who's starting first?
Well,
Yeah, I
for
tried. I
the
actually
girls,
tried,
we have Brooke
Kowalski,
Fesk
I
for
tried,
Morristown Beard.
Diana Barrett, I tried.
And she'll be followed by
Yeah, then I just
Nicolette
okay, fine, that's it.
Gerardo from Wayne Hills.
Our lovely Wayne Hills.
Now, it's possible we may have some issues with the varsity timing. Try to keep you updated on that. Right now, we just have some downtime.
You know, I was saying this earlier. I've been skiing for like a few years now, and before this year, I was a really bad skier. And it's really amazing how better I got at skiing because of the team. No, people just see it as racing, but like it isn't just racing, you know. It's tutoring too, and it's all that stuff, you know.
What are you guys working on a lot in practice? I was talking to Coach Strands earlier, and he told me that in the preseason you guys do some cardio and some strength work. But what are you doing on the slopes? What are you focusing on improving the most?
Yeah, so Strands, he's a really nice guy, and on the slope. So it's really just the edges of our skis, because when we use them, the edges of our skis, it gives us more control on the mountain, especially in New Jersey, because of how icy it is.
Coming down from Mo Beard, Brooke Fesk. We're trying to work out the timing right now, but I will say that looked fast.
Yeah, you know, she used her edges well. She seemed decent. Very good.
Now for Wayne Hills, Nicolette Gerardo. A nice low tuck for the finish. Coming down the hill, Emma Wagner for Northern Valley Demarest. Unrelated to Nicholas Wagner, who is on the Patriots boys team. Two confident pushes at the end. You're done for like the whole race?
Yeah, because they already did JV.
Up next for Livingston should be Olivia Liu. That's her coming down right now. Yeah, she was slightly more upright than the other two skiers, though I am seeing Devin Dobbs for Sparta coming down the hill towards the start of the race, and I'm seeing some really aggressive carves from her. She should be coming up the ridge right now. Jason, talk to me about what you see with Dobbs' technique.
Her technique's really good, you know. She has a good tuck. She used her edge as well.
Wow, she's nearly fully squatted down.
She controlled her speed really nicely there.
Yeah, that was an impressive run for sure. Up next will be Ellie Sadrian for Morristown Beard. Unless they're doing boys, which I don't know why they would. They did JV, like the whole girls and then the whole boys.
No. So it's girls, boys, girls, boys.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
now it's
they're
going to be boys up because that was the end of the run.
Oh, okay. So who's this on?
Is that a boy or a girl?
That's a girl.
That's a girl. No, we're doing girls.
So now they're on too.
Up next for Wayne Hills, sophomore Chloe Houston.
You know, today we don't have a lot of our varsity girls. We have 6 of them, which is perfect for the team. But, you know, we only have 3 today, but they're still incredibly good racers, especially the other ones that aren't here.
What happens when they bump into the things?
I think it's a
The
DQ.
gate, it really
If they knock it over, it's a DQ, right?
maybe.
It's a good thing to talk
It
about.
depends on the recovery.
This is Chloe Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, her carves, they look very decent. Looks like she lost a lot of speed at the end though, but that's okay.
Up next for Northern Valley Demarest, Ashley Firestone.
You know, our team, Wayne Hills, we're really blessed with good equipment like race suits. You can see in the other teams, you know, they're wearing like normal jackets and snow pants. We're lucky to have stuff like race suits. It makes our times better.
Right, because so much of ski racing is about getting as aerodynamic as possible, if I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
mistaken. That's why we're seeing them tuck so low, or ideally tuck so low. Coming up next for Livingston, Charlie Becker. Now Jason is gonna go get his jacket. Thanks for the commentary, Jason. Now we see Aubrey Zimmerman for Sparta, very aggressive lines and a very low tuck to finish. I think one of my favorite things is to watch these skiers touch the ground as if to say, I'm nearly on all fours here. Coming up next, and I can see her up the hill with some equally aggressive carves, Caitlin Prince for Mo Beard. You know, last night we saw a little bit of purple rain. Yes, I am making a Prince joke here. And we were expecting really icy conditions. But I will say the snow is very well groomed, so I think the skiers are probably happy about that. Prince finishing a little bit more upright, but still a very solid run. Fortunately, we still do not have timings, as there are some technical difficulties in that regard. Followed up next, another Wayne Hills skier, Allison Jordan. Jordan coming down through the gates, kicking up a lot of snow behind her. And a nice tuck to finish. And that's Jocelyn Hughes for Demarest. Such a fast run, I didn't even have a chance to announce her coming down. Really low tuck from her part. Sonny Young for Sparta. I believe Livingston, though they are usually going after Demarest, I believe they do not have a racer. A third racer, excuse me. Sonny Young for Sparta coming down, very aggressive carves, but a little bit upright. Up next, Catalina Fonseca for Mo Beard. Fonseca coming down the hill. Has a very low tuck. Up next, I believe, for Demarest, Alexis Lenzano. Fonseca coming down with a nice low tuck to finish. Next skier will be Ava Durston for Sparta. Really using her edges. Coming down in a quick run. Now, I'm not as familiar with the sport. Someone who actually does race, and we will get some future guest commentaries on, But it was really interesting how her torso sort of stayed in place and she was really throwing her legs under her. I wonder if that's just how skis make you move, or if there's an efficiency thing to worry about with that, trying to maintain your energy. Coming to finish for Mo Beard, Lily Horowitz. And now coming down the slope for Sparta, Madeline Gambino. Nice low tuck to finish. Izzy Jaffe for Mo Beard will be following up Gambino. She should be coming up that ridge pretty soon. Oh, I think we just got Varsity. We just got Varsity. Excuse me, correction. That was Kate Agudo. We just got our timing working. Kate finishes with a time of 58.28 seconds. Now for the varsity boys, Kian Pham for Northern Valley Demarest coming down the slope. Pham taking very aggressive lines around the gates. That might be a sub 50. We'll wait on the official time right now. And unfortunately it's just over. Finished with a time of 52.92 seconds. He's followed up by Nate Black for Livingston High School. Black taking really aggressive carves. His legs nearly in a split next to him, and a very interesting tuck to finish. Celebrating very hard. I think that was a good run for him. And I will say by the timing he finished with a time of 50.04 seconds. He's followed up by George Flint from Sparta. Flint coming down, slightly more upright than the previous two skiers, but still a very quick run from the looks of it. And a very stylish finish. And it's actually the fastest JV varsity run so far with a time of 47.17 seconds. Up next for Bergen Catholic, William Dodds coming down the slope. Dodds staying close to the gates in his all red attire with a final time of 52.08 seconds. Kurt Friedrich coming down for Del Barton right now. Kurt is the #1 ranked skier in the state, having placed first in every single run of every single race this season, and you can really see that in his performance. I mean, that's really beautiful to watch. I know I'm not supposed to be rooting for the opponents here, but I really enjoy watching people who are great at their sports regardless of rivalries. Kurt Friedrich finishes with a time of 45.25 seconds, the fastest so far, and he's followed up by Nathan Sues from Mo Beard. Sues is followed by our very own Nathan Gaddis. Nathan followed by Nathan. Sue's finishing with a solid time of 49.73 seconds. Gaddis coming down the hill, very aggressive lines. Very efficient, I would say, too. Oh, he slips out a little bit. Unfortunately, falling. But I think he's trying to recover. Going around that green gate. And I believe that run will count. And wow, that's really disappointing, because I will tell you, coming out, it was scary how fast he was going. We're gonna hope he can maintain that pace in a second run. He's followed by Northern Valley Demarest's Ryan Messenger. Ryan finishing with a time of, still waiting for an official time, both for Gaddis and for Messenger. I believe because he fell, they're trying to figure out how the timing on that works. I'm not too familiar, but from my conversations with Coach Strand, I believe in some cases where you fall, that may count as a disqualification and you take a penalty time. Though we did see Gaddis get up and try to get to that gate. Now, if you haven't watched my weather forecast last week, I'm happy to say we will continue doing those, but I'm going to give you a mini weather forecast on the slope. Excuse me for the pause. Nearly 6. Current conditions on Mountain Creek, it's 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind chills making it feel like 19. And we are expected to see some snow tomorrow, which is exciting, starting at around 1 p.m. and continuing most of the day, I believe, though it does turn into rain on Sunday, just as I had mentioned earlier in my previous forecast. And we have a very quick racer coming down the hill. I believe this is, let me try to see his, yes, that is Patrick Fitzsimmons for Sparta, waiting on a time for him at the moment, having some more technical difficulties in that regard. He should be followed up by Harry Williams from Bergen Catholic. Yeah, after Fitzsimmons, we stopped once more. I believe they're trying to sort out the timing at the moment. Let's do some winter weather trivia. What is the tallest mountain in the northeastern region of the United States? You have 10 seconds to think of an answer. 10, 9, 8. I just heard someone scream on the chairlift. Anyways, if you said Mount Washington in New Hampshire, you would be correct. Don't ask me why I know that. I don't know. I searched it up. I'm like, I should climb the tallest mountain in the Northeast. But it's pretty serious. Like, I mean, it's not that serious. You don't need to climb it. It's a trail. But like, if you don't know what you're doing, there's like avalanche risk and stuff. No, it's not one of those mountains. You probably could if you're like a really gnarly skier. Let me see. Oh. Coming down the slope for Livingston, Milan Alexandrio. Is that him? Excuse me, they're still sloping the course. But Milan will be next up. I think Sparta is going to get a rerun, they just said. Yeah, it's gonna be Patrick Fitzsimmons again. Not all of it. Like parts of it might, but it doesn't record it as one big file. It splits it into files. Yeah. This is, I believe, Milan Alexandrio coming down the slope for Livingston. Yeah, it is him. He finishes with a time of 1 minute and 14.35 seconds. I'm now joined by another guest announcer, Dear Patel. Dear, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Will?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. A little bit chilly. Now tell me, how are you feeling after your JV runs today?
I felt really good. On my second run, I did 2 seconds faster than my first run. And I was just applying all the techniques that we practiced all season. I just feel really good about it. I was pushing my hips and, getting deep on my edge. And I just felt really good.
Yeah, I did notice your improvement. It was actually really interesting. A lot of the JV boys did much better on their second run. Do you think that's a confidence thing? They're getting more confident as they're coming down the slope? Or is it just that they're getting used to like the conditions and stuff like that?
It could be that, a bit of confidence. And also the first run, a lot of them are probably kind of testing the waters a little bit, seeing how the course is and how aggressive they need to be. And also...
Sorry to interrupt you. We just saw Harry Williams for Bergen Catholic finishing with a time of 1 minute and 7.5 seconds. And coming up is Levi Schiffer for Del Barton. Very quick run, I would say. Any commentary on his technique, Dear?
I didn't really catch it that much, but he looked like he was doing really good with his carving.
Yeah, sub 50. He got a time of 47.57 seconds. Up next is Tomas Kennedy for Mo Beard. All right, as we're watching him, those look like pretty aggressive lines to me. But he is pretty upright. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so he was getting his hips into the turns and staying really close to the gates. Not as close as some of the other racers that I've been seeing. But, yeah, and about staying upright, that's probably something that he could, stay a little bit lower, especially down on this flatter part.
And now we see Wayne Hills racer Hunter Bandola coming down. Yeah, we can see that really nice tuck from him. Tomas Kennedy finished with a time of 52.88 seconds, and Hunter finished with another sub 50 run today, 48.32. We're going to take a short break. I'm getting a call from my producer. Forgive me for that pause. We just saw Zach Seamgran for Northern Valley Demarest finish with a time of 1 minute and 1.75 seconds. Coming down next will be Jack Mouse for Livingston. Dear, have you been skiing all 4 years of your high school career?
I've not actually. I just started joining. I joined the ski team last year, my junior year, but I've been skiing on my own since around 5th grade.
All right, we see Mouse coming down the slope right now. And followed up closely behind by Finn Kowalski for Sparta. Very aggressive lines from him, a very quick run. Talk to me about Kowalski's technique. Mouse finished with a time of 1 minute and 17.74 seconds, and Kowalski 46.39 seconds. I think the fastest run today. Actually, forgive me, no. We did see a faster one.
That was a really good run from Kowalski as far as I could tell at the end. He was staying really close to the gates and getting low in his tucks and just not spraying any snow at all because he was carving so well.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this earlier with the number one guy. It's really awesome to see people who have like clearly put in hours and hours of time and commitment into their sports to get good. We have Matthew Montgomery coming down for Bergen Catholic. And it's just really admirable to see like when someone sort of turns their sport almost into an art, into a performance that's can be appreciated by the layman such as myself. Montgomery finishing with a time of 1 minute and 5.11 seconds. Dude, like I just have to fill so much dead time.
That's really fun.
Now for Del Barton coming down the slope, Max Paglario. It's looking like a quick run as well, though he is a bit more upright than some of the other skiers we've seen. Yeah, go for it. Max finishing with a time of 50.11 seconds. Next up for Mo Beard, Ryan Horowitz. You could talk about him as he's coming down too.
Spraying a little bit of snow, but staying really close to the gates. Pretty well done.
Horowitz finishing with a time of 54.21 seconds. And I believe I didn't mention Paglario's time earlier. He finished with a run of 50.11 seconds. Wayne Hills' own Liam Sheffield coming down the slope right now.
Very strong technique, especially during that tuck at the end.
He finishes with yet another sub 50 run today with a time of 49.02 seconds. Up next is Hudson Hall for Northern Valley. We'll see him coming over that ridge soon. Hudson Hall coming in to finish his run. We're waiting on an official time. And Deer is telling me that he needs to get going. So thank you, Deer, for coming on mic. Thank you for the insightful commentary on technique.
Thanks for having me, Will.
Hudson Hall finishing with a time of 1 minute and 2.26 seconds. He's followed by Ryan Sanghani for Livingston. I know I'm butchering some of these names. Rian Sangani. Rian finishing with a time of 1 minute and 14.52 seconds. And we have Jason Tusha from earlier coming back on to guest announce.
Hey guys.
Oh wow, look at the technique on this guy. This is Ryan Grukuk for Sparta. We've been seeing a lot of strong skiers from Sparta today. He finishes with a time of 45.85 seconds.
You know, we have to keep in mind that the course right now is actually harder than JV, because the later it gets, the more colder, the more icier the course gets.
And it's
Coming down the slope now is
also
Blake
dark,
Young
too.
for Bergen Catholic. Jason, I actually didn't know that. Thanks for that insight. Young finishing with a time of 1 minute and 5.67 seconds.
Also, the course getting more skied on also makes it more icier.
Blake Young. Okay, so we have 17. Pierce Weiss for Del Barton coming down the slope next. Weiss coming in with an official time of 51.13 seconds. He's goated. Now we have Henry Koval for Mo Beard. Taking really aggressive lines, but they are kind of far from the gates. And a nice low tuck to finish. Next up on the slope is Jack Bandola for Wayne Hills. Bandola coming down the slope.
I couldn't get well too. I had like the bottom T. I was like, huh?
Finishing with a time of 49.75 seconds.
No.
I believe sub 50
It's on the
finishes for
side,
both
so
of the
like down,
Bandola
so
brothers.
That's where they have the tea pack. You just ask for a cup and then you get the hot water.
I didn't know that.
Up next is Patrick Fitzsimmons for Sparta. I believe he's redoing his run because we were having timing issues earlier.
You know, our racer Jack, he's a really good racer. So, no, he's a really talented racer, has really good technique, and you know, we're all really lucky to have him on the team.
Fitzsimmons finishing with a really low tuck, touching the ground after. I'm really liking that celebration from the skiers. It's very fun to watch. Fitzsimmons finishes with a time of 46.92 seconds. A very impressive run. Next up for Northern Valley, Sunny Srinivasan. Oh, clipping that flag right at the end. And I was about to say he has a very low technique. He has a time of 54.49 seconds.
Did he break the pole?
He did break the pole.
Yeah, a little bit.
The second I looked up on him.
He broke the pole. I do not know if that counts as a disqualification or not.
I don't really.
Oh my gosh, it's all the way over
Oh.
there. Get a close up on that.
He's followed up by Chase Taunus for Sparta.
You know,
Also very low, and he grunted at the end of his run. I don't know if that was a grunt of celebration or disappointment. He
You know,
finishes with a time of 54.85 seconds. Up next for Bergen Catholic is Dylan Stiles.
from earlier, I have no clue with that gate since he hit it. I don't know if it counted or not, but I guess we'll see.
Stiles coming down, standing fairly upright as he takes his carves around the gates. Styles finishing with a time of 1 minute and 7.96 seconds. And I believe we are pausing the race at the moment so that that gate, which was broken earlier, can be replaced. We just got another insight from racer Deer Patel. A lot of the ski racers are wearing arm guards just for events, or situations rather, exactly like we saw earlier with that gate breaking, though it's very rare to see the pole snapping. It's definitely a treat for today. Coming down next for what's the name of the school? Del Martin. Coming down for Del Martin, John Mermel.
What?
Staying very close to the gates. Finishing with a low tuck. An official time of 53.72 seconds for Mermel. And we have another guest announcer, Jack Bandola. How are you feeling tonight, Jack?
I'm feeling good. Feel really, really good, actually. Just finished my run, sub 50 seconds, which is huge for the team. Hoping that this can ice us with states we haven't already.
Yeah, man, it was super impressive to watch. I think your brother also got a sub 50.
Yeah, he got a 48, good for like 7th place or something like that right now.
Declan Garvey coming down for Mo Beard. Waiting on that official time. Official time of 1 minute and 4.06 seconds. And up next will be Jaden Guzman for Wayne Hills. Now, Jack, tell me, what are you thinking about when you're going to be going into your second run today?
Just business as usual. Want to keep what I did. Maybe improve in a couple areas, but that was, I'll be honest, one of my better runs all season. If I can replicate that to a T, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it was really impressive to watch. Now tell me, like, when you're on the slope, are you sort of in a flow state? Actually, hold off on answering that. Let's wait for Guzman to finish his run. I think Guzman is in a flow state as well.
Jaden. Oh yeah, Jaden! Let's go!
That looked very quick. We're waiting for an official time. He will be followed by Kyler Schwartz for Sparta. Guzman finishes with a time of 59.25 seconds. So as I was asking earlier, are you kind of getting into a flow state when you're going down the slope?
Really, yeah. I feel like you're moving so quick. Your mind's moving a million miles an hour. You just gotta figure out how to lock in when you're on slopes.
And we just saw Schwartz finish his run with a time of 50.54 seconds. Up next will be Markian Titla, forgive me, for Bergen Catholic. Tightly coming down the slope. Now Bandola is leaving to get some well-deserved food. Thanks for coming on, Jack. Tightly finishing with a time of 1 minute and 1.4 seconds. Up next for Del Barton will be Alexander Dobrescu. Dobrescu taking really tight lines, though towards the end we saw him get a little bit farther from those gates. Finishing with a time of 51.22 seconds. Up next will be Colin Garvey for Mo Beard. Garvey coming down for the finish. The sixth and final team member for Moburn. He finishes with an official time of 1 minute and 18.29 seconds. And he's followed by Wayne Hills' final boys skier, Nicholas Wagner. Taking very close lines, though a little bit scary. They are pretty shaky. But he is able to finish. Wagner finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 4.21 seconds. That concludes the first run for the varsity boys, and we'll be starting with Brooke Fesk from Auburn for the girls' second and final run. If you'd like, yeah. And I'm joined yet again by Dear Patel. Dear, we're actually going to be able to get some times for the girls this time, as the first time around we had some technical difficulties with the timing. All right, we're seeing Fesk come down the slope. Talk to me about what you're seeing with her technique.
She looks pretty good. Spraying a little bit of snow coming around those gates, and that implies that she's losing a little bit of speed, which is not good, especially on this final flat section of the course.
Yeah, she did actually finish that run a little slower than her first run. She finished with an official time of 59.42 seconds, where she was at 57.8 earlier. Up next for Wayne Hills will be Nicolette Girardo. Her first run was 55.91 seconds, so we're hoping for an improvement here, or at least a match.
Here she comes, staying tight around those gates, making really good turns. Coming out of a tuck to make those turns.
And that was a run of 57.15 seconds, a little slower than her first run. She will be followed by Northern Valley's Emma Wagner. We can see her coming down the slope right now. Some confident pushes for the finish. She finishes with an official time of 1 minute and 0.23 seconds, which is a very, very slight, but still an improvement over her first run of 1 minute and 0.58 seconds. Up next for Livingston will be Olivia Liu. A lot of them don't have like girls racers. Liu coming down the slope. A little far from the gates. We're having some technical difficulties with the camera. Olivia Liu finishes with an official time of 1 minute and 14.08 seconds. Yeah, we might have actually lost all of this footage. I mean, whatever's going on there. You can't, like... What if you put it into manual focus and keep it manual? Okay, coming down now for Sparta is Devin Dobbs. Really low tuck to finish.
Very well done from Dobbs.
We were having some minor technical difficulties with the cameras. In that pause, we saw Devin Dobbs finish with a time of 48.44 seconds, and Catalina Fonseca for Mo Beard finish with 47.52. Coming down right now is Chloe Houston for Wayne Hills.
Here she comes with a bit of a tuck in the final section.
She'll be followed by Ashley Firestone, representing Northern Valley. Chloe Houston finishing with a time of 1 minute and 4.2 seconds. Firestone with a significant improvement, a little over 3 seconds, with a time of 1 minute and 3.22 seconds. She'll be followed up by Charlie Becker for Livingston.
There seems to be a little bit of an obstruction a little high on the race course. It looks like somebody's ski came off.
Becker coming in fairly quickly. Becker finishing with a time of 1 minute and 8.84 seconds. Now, dear, I'm noticing a lot of grooves building up around the gates. And Josh did mention that the slope is getting icier. Does that make it harder to ski through those grooves?
Yeah, so we call those little grooves, those little mounds that are forming around those gates, we call them ruts. And it depends on, you know, your skiing style, if you want to say they're good or bad. I personally don't like them because it forces me into this, you know, it's a little bit of uncertainty about going around those gates. But some people like how it forces them to go in that circular motion around the gate and into that new direction. Also, when it gets icy, it's also a little bit difficult.
Coming down right now is Caitlin Prince for Mo Beard. Right before her, we saw Aubrey Zimmerman from Sparta, who had finished with a time of 52.93 seconds. Prince finishes with a time of 57.16 seconds. Earlier I made a Purple Rain joke, but I'll save the viewers from a second one. Now for Wayne Hills, our final girls varsity skier, Allison Jordan coming down the slope.
She's tackling those ruts pretty well, staying tight around those gates, spraying only a little bit of snow as she approaches the crowd, which is eagerly waiting for her.
Jordan finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 12.95 seconds. And right now on the slope, we see Jocelyn Hughes for Northern Valley. She's tapping nearly every single gate. I mean, that's about as close as you can come. She finishes with an impressive 45.62 second run. Now she's going to be followed by Sunny Young from Sparta, who I believe has a brother also racing on varsity, though I may be mistaken. You have to go around them. Young coming down the slope, and this is definitely looking like a much more confident run than I remember seeing from her last time. She finishes with an official time of 52.29 seconds. She's followed up by Lily Horowitz from Mo Beard.
The Sparta crowd has a pretty large standing over here in the audience. They even have their own flag propped up for their high school.
Horowitz coming down the slope. She looked pretty confident going into that finish, pumping a few pushes with her skis. She finishes with an official time of 57.61 seconds. She will be followed by Northern Valley's Alexis Lanzano. We can see her on the slope right now. Very low tuck for the finish. Up next will be Ava Durston for Sparta. Her previous run was 54.51 seconds, which is pretty fast. We're going to see if she can match that in her second run right now. We did notice faster second runs for JV, but the trend is for Varsity that they are going slightly slower. Though I think that won't be the case for Durston, waiting on an official time. She gets an official time of 54.66 seconds, just a little bit slower than her first run. Next up, Mo Beard's Izzy Jaffe. This is definitely not how you pronounce her name.
At this point, you could really hear how much icier the course is getting by its distinctive scraping sound. And that's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the sharpness of your skis.
She finishes with a time of 1 minute and 2.3 seconds.
It makes it dull a lot faster. But if it's sharp, you're able to dig into the ice.
Up next is Madeline Gambino for Sparta. She's taking some very quick lines right now. She finishes with a time of 52.63 seconds, slower than her first run by a few tenths of a second. Now, dear, I think actually my observation about their second runs being slower is probably because of the ice. And the reason the JV runs didn't really have that disadvantage, so they were able to make improvements in their second run. Ellie Sadrian coming down from Mo Beard.
Yes, I agree with that. Especially now that it's darker and colder, and a lot more skiers have raced on this course, there's going to be a lot more ice. And for a lot of people, that means that they have to take it slow coming down and really control their movements. So that would add a couple of seconds.
Sadrian finishing with a time of 48.38 seconds. Wish I had like real gloves. I mean,
Using leather.
yeah, like they're not really meant for being out this long. No, it's fine. Up next, Kate Agudo, the final skier for Sparta and the final racer in the girls' varsity race.
This would be a tough area for pictures. Like, you were there, right? It's like the 8th time I've done that. One time I went straight up into it.
She's coming down the slope right now.
Very nice form from Kate Agudo. At one point, I saw that she was actually carving so deep that her hand was touching the ground. But she was able to recover out of that.
Now we're starting with the second run for the boys. Kian Pham for Northern Valley.
I don't know.
Yeah, Northern Valley.
Keon Pham.
Yeah. Very tight lines from Pham. Finishing with a time of 52.23 seconds, which is an improvement from his first run. Up next will be Nate Black for Livingston, who will be followed by our very own Nathan Gaddis. And we're going to hope that this second run looks better for him than the first one did. Excuse me, George Flint from Sparta following Nate Black.
We hear a loud celebration coming from Nate Black as he crosses the finish line.
And a well-deserved celebration because he made a significant improvement from his first run, finishing with a time of 48.75 seconds. I believe Nate is one of the only skiers I've seen today who does his final tuck with his legs kind of wide.
I agree, I noticed that as well.
Coming down now, George Flint from Sparta. Another sub-50 time for George Flint, finishing with a time of 47.71 seconds. Next up will be Bergen Catholic's William Dodds. Dodds coming down. That looks like a quick run to me. Waiting on an official time. He finishes with a time of 52.26 seconds. And now, coming down the slope, faster than I could even announce, Kurt Friedrich. Hitting that gate, but that doesn't faze him. Finishing with a faster second run of 45.13 seconds. And I think there's a reason he's number one in the state, and I think he's going to maintain that position today. Now we have Mobeard's Nathan Seuss, who will be followed by Nathan Gaddis. And that's why I got confused earlier. We have 3 Nates in this first run. Oh, dude, thanks.
I got like sugar and other champagne.
Thanks.
Make sure you got it. He told me what it was afterwards. I didn't know.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. Seuss coming in for his finish. An official time of 50.13 seconds. He's redoing both? No. This is his first one. Huh. Nathan coming in very fast. We're going to hope he can finish this time. I mean, he's taking those carves super low. That looked super solid from him. Finished with a time of 46.14. Very impressive. I think that's... I'm unsure if he got to redo his first run, because the timing website says that was his first run. But I believe his first run was a DNF, or a disqualification rather, sorry. And that was his second run. He's 17th in the state. And now for Northern Valley, Ryan Messenger. You should see him pop over that ridge very soon. Now we see him coming in towards the finish. Ryan Messenger with an official time of 1 minute and 6.11 seconds. Next up will be Livingston's Milan Alexandrio.
Somebody just skied onto the course, right? Looks like somebody just free skied.
It looks like somebody just free skied onto the course. Unsure if this is someone's team member or just a regular Mountain Creek skier.
It seems to be somebody wearing a large backpack to run coats for the team members. But he came down at the wrong slope and ended up in the middle of the course.
Milan Alexandrio with an official time of 1 minute and 16.07 seconds. Up next is Patrick Fitzsimmons. I think the third fastest racer we have here today. Oh, he was a little shaky on that carve right next to the final green gate. Finishes with a time of 47.43 seconds.
Something you might be noticing as these racers cross the finish line is that they bend low and extend their arm in front of them. That's because the finish line is a laser beam that's going across, and your time stops as soon as that beam is broken. So that saves them a couple milliseconds.
Sort of how we see sprinters in track leaning forward to do something similar. It's interesting to see the carryover between these different sports. Crossover, excuse me. Now we have for Bergen Catholic, Harry Williams. Finishing with a time of 1 minute and 7.38 seconds. And he will be followed by Del Barton's Levi Schiffer. Really? I'm not going to say that. That's cool.
And he was the senator at both states.
Finishes with a time of 47.97 seconds. 0.4 of a second slower than his first run, but still very impressive. Next up is Tomas Kennedy for Mo Beard.
Wait, I'm going to go back up, okay?
Yeah. No, thank you. He's going down.
How many times do you think I hit my head on this?
I don't know. Kennedy coming down the slope, taking very tight lines. I mean, his head is almost hitting those poles. I think he may have had a slow start because, yeah, he got a DNF for some reason. I believe we're having an... Oh, I'm sorry. That was Hunter Bandola, who had just finished with a time of 46.76 seconds, which is insane. Tomas Kennedy got a DNF, so he must have fallen somewhere higher up on the track. The fastest, I think, is 45. Yeah, the number one guy is around 45. No. Yeah. Kurt Friedrich. Up next for Northern Valley, Zach Semigran Zach has some very excited fans. He's taking very tight lines. Well, a little shaky at the end, but he was able to recover. Finishes with a time of 1 minute and 0.74 of a second, which is nearly an exact 1 second faster than his first run. Up next will be Jack Mouse for Livingston. Mouse coming down the slope. Oh, he looks like he lost a little bit of speed up there at that first gate. But he's very excited. Finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 17.08 seconds. A 0.7 second improvement over his last run. Up next is Finn Kowalski for Sparta. Another one of the faster skiers today. Wow, you can really see him putting his hips into those carves. Very low tuck. He finishes, with an official time of 47.89 seconds, which currently puts him in 4th place. Though, disregard that 4th place because the timing website has been having some difficulties, and it's very possible that the 1st place time is a little bit shorter than it should be. Coming down the slope for Bergen Catholic, Matthew Montgomery. He finishes with an official time of 1 minute and 6.33 seconds. Up next for Del Barton, Max Piglario. Piglario coming in for the finish. That may be a sub 50. And that is correct. He got a time of 48.21 seconds.
Is that you that got 46?
Yeah, that was gnarly. Up next, Ryan Horowitz for Mo Beard. You want to get on mic and talk about it? Horowitz finishing with an official time of 54.95 seconds. And now Wayne Hill's very own Liam Sheffield coming down the slope. Taking very tight lines, he hit that gate. Really solid tuck from him at the end. Oh, and he fell just at the finish. He finishes with an official time of 49.28 seconds. Up next is Hudson Hall from Northern Valley. Hudson Hall coming in. And I will say my fingers are freezing. But the excitement is keeping me warm enough. Hudson Hall finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 1.17 seconds. We had Hunter Bandola visit us for a second. He believes his run was fast enough to get him into regionals, which would be very exciting for the team. Rian Singhani coming down the slope for Livingston. few strong pushes to finish. Rian finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 15 seconds flat. Ryan Greekuk coming up next for Sparta.
Nathan, is that your second run? Or are they making... Is it still the first run? Is it a disqualification?
Oh, okay. Greekuk finishing with time of 45.85 seconds, exactly the same time as his first run. I believe that puts him into third place. Though I'm not sure, as previously mentioned, some of the timings may be incorrect from the official times on this website. Pierce Weiss coming up for Del Barton next. Pierce Weiss with a low tuck, finishing with an official time of 50.43 seconds. Henry Cavall coming up soon for Mo Beard. And he will be followed by Wayne Hill's Jack Bandola. Cavall finishing with an official time of 56.58 seconds. 0.2 seconds slower than his first run, but still a very solid run. Bandola is screaming as he comes down. Excitedly finishing with a time of 49.68 seconds. 49.68. Sonny Srinivasan for Northern Valley up next. And a nice low tuck from him, finishing with an official time of 54.65 seconds. Some very excited celebration from the Bandola brothers off screen. Chase Thomas coming down for Sparta. Very low tuck. A nice slide to finish. Finishing with a time of 53.92 seconds. Nearly a 1 second improvement on his first time. Dylan Stiles for Bergen Catholic coming down the slope next. I think he went to get food or something. He's coming down the slope. Stiles coming down the slope in the orange pants. I love snow attire. It's always these bright colors. Fun fact, actually let me tell you Dylan Stiles' official time, which is 1 minute and 5.22 seconds. But fun fact, the jacket that took the first American to Mount Everest was bright red. John Mermel for Del Barton with a solid run. Finishing with an official time of 53.36 seconds. A 0.3 second improvement from his first run. Declan Garvey for Mo Beard coming in next, who will be followed by Wayne Hills' Jaden Guzman.
Let's go, Jaden!
Garvey finishing for Moburn with an official time of 1 minute and 3.18 seconds. And now Jaden Guzman coming up for Wayne Hills. Guzman coming down. His teammates very excited. Finishing with a significant improvement over his first time at 57.32 seconds. And now the 6th skier for each school, with Sparta racing Kyler Schwartz right now. Schwartz finishing with an official time of 51.91 seconds. And he will be followed up by Bergen Catholic's Markian Teitla. Teitla coming down the slope, spraying up a lot of snow. He smacks that final gate with his poles, finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 0.83 seconds. Alexander Dobrescu for Del Barton racing next. Smacking into 2 of the gates and touching the ground in his finish, Dobrescu finishing with an official time of 51.96 seconds, 0.7 of a second slower than his first run. Up next is Colin Garvey from Mo Beard. Who will be followed by Wayne Hills' Nicholas Wagner, who will be the final skier tonight. Garvey coming down the slope. Taking some wide lines around the gates. Garvey finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 15.89 seconds. And now, last but very not least, Nicholas Wagner. We're going to keep rolling, okay? Interviews. Wagner coming in for the finish. Look straight, are you still going to race? Last skier, I'm breaking down up here. Wagner finishing with an official time of 1 minute and 5.46 seconds. That's going to do it for tonight's Giant Slalom race. That's going to be a wrap for today's NJISRA Conference B 3rd Giant Slalom race. The top 9 in the state after this race will be advancing to the state tournament. Some excellent performances from all the skiers today. This has been a Wayne Hills TV production. I'd like to thank my crew with Chad Thompson and Ayden Acebo on camera today, as well as all the guest announcers we had announcing with me today. I'd like to thank Mr. Hookstraight and Coach Strands and the Mountain Creek staff for allowing us to film tonight. This has been a first in Wayne Hills TV history and possibly in all of New Jersey. Thank you so much, Wayne Hills, for watching. That's a wrap. And now one final ski racer, Wayne Hills TV's very own Mr. Hookstraight. Some very aggressive carves from Mr. Hook Straight. Oh, and a stylish finish right in front of the camera.